Hi, if you're new to my channel, I want to first introduce myself. My name is Serena Fajalubi. I have been a cosmetology educator since 2012. I also teach barbering and have taught at various schools throughout my years. This channel that I want to create is for anyone who is an aspiring instructor who's just looking for help. I know that going into this industry, you go into it with all of this excitement and you have things planned that you want to do for your up and rising students. But I know that there can be times that there can be roadblocks that can cause challenges along the way that can make that transition from being a stylist to an educator a lot more difficult. Throughout this journey with you all, I want to share things that have helped me to grow and develop over my time of being an instructor, and things that I want to help you all to avoid as you continue on your journey. So, first thing being first, I want to make sure that this is the common thread throughout anything that I'm going over in this particular sessions or sessions to come. And that, number one, is routine is key. So, I'll be dropping my little bullet points as we go, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with why a routine is key. So let's picture this. You have been behind the chair for so long, or maybe you're new to the industry and you just recently got licensed and you have the zeal or the passion to teach, right? So with that, you're going to need to establish some form of a routine. So where does that start? That starts when you get that call that, hey, I am coming in for my very first interview. So typically in interviews, you may be kind of reluctant to say anything about your strengths and weaknesses because you don't want to discount yourself, especially if you don't have any experience. But what I would encourage is, when you get that first opportunity to go in and interview, is have a list of questions that you want to ask to make yourself more prepared for what you're walking into. So remember what I said, routine is key. So we're going to keep that in the forefront of our mind as we journey on through this session today. So you get the call, you go in for the interview, and you're nervous. So you go, okay, I have a couple of questions that I want to ask, but how do I ask them, right? So I will tell you, as an educator, throughout my time, I've noticed that there's only two positions that generally need to be filled at a cosmetology or barbering school. Number one, there was a dedicated educator there that had to leave or be let go for whatever reason. So you're coming in the footsteps of someone who may have done good or bad for the school, and now you have to set a new precedent. Number two is, this is a new and upcoming position, meaning this position has not been filled before. So I will tell you, do not be fearful of those type positions. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you're coming into something new, there's a certain type of zeal and this joy that you take into it, because it's your baby. It's something that's new. So at the end of the day, you can go into this knowing, hey, I get to create the type of atmosphere that I would like to see for my up and coming students, right? So knowing that there's only a couple of type of ways that you can join on to a school, it helps you prepare yourself for what you're going to walk into. So while you're in that interview, things I may ask is, what does a typical day look like? Being number one, what's expected from your educators, meaning the hours, meaning the workload, the job description. What do they have in mind as a vision as to how they want you to flow throughout the day? If they don't have anything in mind, guess what? You get to ask them, what are you willing to do to help me be successful in this role? So that could look like anything, like tools, like resources, extra training. They may bring in an assistant. They may be willing to hire more than one person for this role. This helps you to know what type of company you're going to be working for. Oftentimes, we get so excited about the first phone call or the first job offer, we tend to forget that I actually have to do the work. So, at the end of the day, think about it this way. If this opportunity is the one that is for you, everything that you need will be there. But there are times that you do have to ask. Sometimes people don't know what you need until you vocalize it. I will share with you as we journey along through these sessions things that I have experienced as a new educator, as a seasoned educator, and as someone now who owns my own school, things that I feel that can be helpful for anyone to come alongside or to walk along this path, okay? So, you're still in that interview, and they may be asking you, like, hey, what can you teach? And your first thought may go, oh God, well, I'm not that great at haircuts or color or braiding or relaxers, or maybe I'm not comfortable with different textures or types of hair. Don't belittle yourself in that interview. Go into it with a plan stating, hey, I am willing to grow, I'm willing to develop, I am willing to be shaped and molded into what you need me as, so long as I have what I need, right? Also, routine will help you strengthen your day-to-day. It will help you stay on course, and it will also help you gain the respect of your other faculty members as well as students. So, don't count yourself out if you may not be the best at haircuts or color or relaxers. Establish a routine that works for you, so that way on your best day, on your worst day, it will work for you. I'll give an example. Let's say you are a brand new graduate from a cosmetology program and you feel the call to go in to teach, and you may say, I don't have a lot of experience behind the chair. So what I may ask you is, what do you have? What do you have to offer the next up and coming beauty professionals that are going into our industry? Maybe it's encouragement, maybe it's structure, maybe it's you being a support system for them. Those are things that you may not want to overlook. So at the end of the day, look at it this way. What do you have that you can supply? And stick to that routine. If you're an instructor who likes to really pour into your students and love on them and give them that from your heart, be true to yourself. Also, if you're an instructor who's very much into structure and time management and having the priorities in place and all those things, don't shy away from that as well. Everyone has a gift that they can bring into this if you genuinely feel like this is your calling. Only thing you may need to look at is, how do I develop it? Every class that you teach will be different. It's going to require a different set of skills, and it's also going to require a different type of instructor approach with each class that comes by. So, identifying where you are and what you have to give is going to be essential. So, what I want to state as my very first point is, along with having a routine, is going to be understanding your why. Why are you doing what you're doing, right? There are going to be some good days. There are going to be some dark days. There are going to be some days that you feel like, why did I even step out and do this? But understanding your why will help you to guide you through those uncharted waters. It will be your guiding light. It will be that motivation when you don't have any on those days. It will be that encouragement when you need it. Along with understanding your why, note this, that you will have to get in a consistent mindset of you're always pouring before praise. A lot of times we go into this particular industry, we may not have had the best upbringing, or we may not have gotten all the encouragement that we needed as an adult or someone who was a future professional as a cosmetologist or barber. So we go into it thinking, oh my God, This is my moment to leave my mark on the world. And I just know that every student I encounter is just going to love me. Well, at the end of the day, that may not always happen right away. So, after you understand your why, knowing that you're going to have to pour before you receive any praise, and knowing that teaching is a form of servitude. So, at the end of the day, you're pouring, you're pouring, you're pouring. And there's nothing greater than having that day that a student comes to you and says, "Thank you so much. Thank you for helping me with my haircut. Thank you for helping me pass my state board. Thank you for helping, encouraging me get through this program." You'll never forget the day that you get that first thank you. But operate knowing that what you're doing is you are sowing seeds in the upcoming and future professionals. That right now is your gift. We're going to move on to our next point. Our next point is to survey the land. What type of students will you be teaching? A lot of times we get students and we go, "Oh, I just know that what I have to share, everybody will be interested in." So by surveying the land, what you do is you step back from the scenario after the initial excitement has kind of worn off a little bit, and you go, "Okay, who is going to be in my class? Who am I going to be teaching? Is it going to be visual learners? Is it going to be anyone who is kinesthetic? Is it going to be anyone who needs to hear it? Is it going to be someone who learns by hands-on? What type of student will I have in my class? Who will I be giving this instruction to?" And at the end of the day, that is going to be your thought process in how you prepare your lesson plans, how you bring any demos, how you structure guest speakers and field trips and so on and so forth. You have to survey the land. Surveying the land tells you what? What is this going to take from me? What is it going to cost me to be able to teach this set of students? Right? So if you notice right away, you don't have the resources or the tools or the documentation that you need, this is where you communicate with upper management. Do it in a way that says, "Hey, I want to make sure I'm doing everything necessary to be able to set my students up for success." You'll get more progress out of your administration by letting them see that you have that passion and that heart to want to continue to pour into those students. So surveying the land is going to be essential. If you are someone who is very good with showing someone how to do something, but at the end of the day, not good with teaching them how to do it, you now realize that you have an area that you need to grow in. And it doesn't always come overnight. It is consistently telling yourself, "Okay, while I'm doing, I have to explain. While I'm talking, I have to explain. While I'm showing, I have to explain." And at the end of the day, what you'll notice is that it will become second nature. You will find yourself doing it even when you don't realize it. And that's when you know, hey, I'm really getting into my groove as being an educator. Because at the end of the day, I can do this with my eyes closed. I can talk to an empty room if I needed to. Sometimes it's not about the amount of students that you're teaching. It's about the quality of education that you're giving out to your students. Okay? So, next thing is to gather your tools. Now that you know what you need, get what you need. Now, I know I can speak for every aspiring instructor who's went into their first job and you're so excited. The first thing you want to do is, I got to go to the store. I got to go buy all these things. Well, at the end of the day, sometimes at a lot of these schools that you may take on these roles at, they have an afforded way to give you those supplies that you need. Check with your administration. Ask them, do we have test banks? Do we have games? Do we have things that I can already use as a resource and then build upon it later? Don't be so quick to run out and go buy things on your own, because at the end of the day, depending on the type of school that you work for, that can be deemed as offensive, or that you have your own motives with upper management. And be mindful that you want to do things in decency and in order. Okay? moving right along. The biggie here. Just know you're going to make mistakes. You're going to say something wrong to a student. You're going to misinterpret what a student is asking you. You may even overlook a student. You might even say something wrong in the heat of being emotional or maybe not being on your best game that day. Know this. Give yourself grace. Be encouraged in the fact that you stepped out to do one of the hardest jobs there is, and that is to pour into someone who may not yet believe in themselves. So, at the end of the day, know this. Nobody's going to be perfect. You need some way to get additional encouragement and support on your own, whether it's through meditation, prayer, affirmations, things that pour back into you so you can continue to pour into your students, because at the end of the day, you are only as good as your instruction. So, give yourself grace. On those days that you don't get it right, give yourself grace. On the days that you may not have did the best demo, give yourself grace. On the days that you're like, I should have been more prepared for that cutting class or that color class, give yourself grace. And know that it will get better. The more you do it, the more you work that muscle, it gets stronger and it begins to support your day-to-day. I want to tell you something. Who really encouraged me in beauty school was my instructor. I had a lot of things that I wanted to do in this life and did not always know how to think it through. My instructor was my sounding board. I could come to her, I could say things, even if it was the most craziest idea. Hey, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm thinking. And she would always give me additional questions to think about. She always wanted me to think about the who, what, why, when, and where. Why? Because at the end of the day, there are going to be times that I need to be able to answer those questions on my own, and they may not be there to help me, which is going to lead me to my very, very last point. Now that you have the job, now that you understand what it's going to take from you, ask yourself this question. What type of impact do I want to leave on my students? Let that be your thought. Let that be what gets you out of the bed in the morning. Let that be what keeps you going on those dark days. Let that be your guiding light. If you have topics that you would like me to discuss, feel free to drop them in the comments. Just know I'm here as your beauty educator coach. I'm here cheering you on. I'm here as your line of support. And just know that we are on this path together. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.